It's really appropriate that we get to hear from Nick this morning after Mrs. Clark's thoughts on service, because I can't think of a better servant leader in this community than Nick. If you had told me 4 years ago that Nick Beverly would be the head of the honor council and the counselor, I would have been really surprised. I'm not going to lie. He's always been a bridge builder. He's always been a servant leader. He's always been a loyal friend. He's always been a strong student. But he was so quiet, and he didn't talk a lot. But throughout his time at VES, he's really grown as a leader and to becoming the outstanding young man that we see in front of us right now. One of the many things I admire about Nick, other than one of my favorite things about Nick is typically the clothes he wears are secondhand clothes. Like he buys them from Goodwill or from other places, and I think that's such a fun aspect of Nick and who he is. But one of the things I admire about Nick is he's not a leader for the title. He's not a leader because of any of the recognition or accolades. He does it because he cares so much about this community. And I really admire that about you, Nick. Nick, I asked 5 of your friends to share some thoughts. I'm not going to tell you who said what, but you might be able to figure it out. The people I asked are Sophie Chetlos, Sasha, Caden, Hannah, and there's one more person. I'm forgetting. Okay, I will get back to you on that. I will get back to you on that, Nick. So, my apologies, but one of your friends said, one thing I love about Nick is his attention to detail. He notices the little things about people and makes everyone around him feel special. He knows things about me that I'd never expect him to notice, and I love that he cares so much. One of your other friends said, Nick finds a way to make everyone feel comfortable around him. He is so kind, so smart, and is always there when I need him. Another friend said, Nick is such a special person. He cares not just for the people around him, but the community as a whole. He's so funny and will no doubt make you laugh if you need it. Lastly, he's always there for you no matter what, if you need a hug, to talk, or help with your AP comparative government homework. Nick is so special and one of the greatest friends. Something I appreciate about Nick is his reliability and low-maintenance friendship. Nick does not judge, hold grudges, or ever make you question the friendship. He is always there and is one of the most special friends I've ever had. The last person said, Nick is always reliable in his thoughtfulness, support, and honesty. He treats everyone with the same level of respect and kindness and always works to bring out the best in others and in his community. He takes a genuine interest in you as a person, whether it's your first or 50th conversation. Nick is truly one of a kind, friend, leader, and peer. And Ava Clark was one of those 5, I just remembered. Sorry, Ava. So Nick, before you give your talk, I want you to know that you are loved and respected by so many people here. And this community is better because of what you bring to it. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wren, for being an incredible advisor over my time here at VES. Now, as much as I have loved my time here at VES, it was definitely not something I had on my radar. Despite growing up in Lynchburg my whole life, I really didn't know anything about VES. I didn't know where it was. I didn't even know it was a boarding school until I toured. And frankly, I didn't know the difference between a bishop and a bison, so I was confused when I got on campus and saw that our mascot looked like the Pope. I spent most of my life thinking I was going to Glass just like my sisters, but sometimes life throws you curveballs, and when my mom asked me if I wanted to tour VES during COVID, I said sure. Just like VES for me, sometimes things just happen, and that's what I want to focus on today, being able to just let things happen. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. A few weeks ago, when Miss Smith was leading yoga for after-school art, she began to tell us a story about a farmer, and it went something like this. There was an old farmer, a son, and their 2 horses living in a small village. One day, they woke up to discover one of their horses had escaped. The villagers said to them, "Wow, what bad luck you have. Your horse ran away." And the farmer replied, I wouldn't say it was bad luck. I would just say that my horse ran away. A few days later, the horse came back with 2 other wild horses. And the villager said, "Wow, what great luck you have. You have 2 new horses." And the farmer responded, "I wouldn't call it luck. I would just say I have 4 horses." A few weeks later, the son was out working in the field and fell off one of the horses and broke his leg. The villager said to him, "It's a shame that your son will not be able to help you during planting season. It's just such bad luck." The farmer smiled and said, "Bad luck, good luck, who really knows?" A week after that, the royal army comes to the village to draft young men. A soldier took one look at the farmer and left him behind, at the son of the farmer and left him behind. The farmer's neighbor said to him, "You are the only family that did not have their son drafted in the army. This is such good luck." And the farmer replied with the same answer. After hearing the story, it made me realize how we can get hung up on this concept of luck. How we can constantly think to ourselves, "Why did this happen to me?" Or, "Oh, they're so lucky." But instead of seeing the negative things that happen to us as bad luck, just seeing them as things that happen. And realize that life is not something coming at you, but instead seeing it as something coming to you, accepting all the good and the bad. The perspective that the farmer has on life creates this mentality that everything happens for a reason. I know this is not a new concept or anything, not reinventing the wheel, but I like to imagine that my life is a puzzle, and that everything that happens to me is a piece fitting into my life. Every step I take, every new person I meet are all stepping stones to completing my puzzle. And my puzzle is woven into the puzzles of everyone around me. But as much as people say everything happens for a reason, it's sometimes hard for things to seem that way in the moment. And I've realized a lot of times in life, you have to give the things that happen to you a reason. One of my favorite quotes is, "You can't change the wind, but you can adjust your sails." And it reminds me just how important the perspective you bring to an experience is to the memories you have from it. This is a lesson that I have learned very well through making art. In my sophomore year during art class, we tried linoleum printmaking. It was something I had never tried before, and like most artists, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to the things I make. So for the first week or so of working on the project, I dreaded going to art because I had such a clear image in my head of what I wanted it to look like, but I just couldn't get it right. Eventually, I realized that I had to stop trying to make this a piece of art that was perfect, and instead change the goal that I wanted to accomplish from the piece. And so I began to look at this as an experience that I could learn from, where I could experiment and laugh at my mistakes. And I want everyone to know that you are allowed to be bad at something when you first start. We should give ourselves the grace when we try new things, because it's better to have tried and failed than to have not tried at all. Abigail, how many days are there till graduation?
131.
Let's make them count. Thank you.